What is going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a good day. Today we're going to be talking about Aston Villa's new signing, Morgan Sanson, our new midfielder, our new number 25, arriving from Marseille for a reported £14 million. We're going to talk about what he's going to add to this Aston Villa side. But I actually got the notification when I was in Spanish class, towards the tail end of Spanish class, and nearly flipped my desk over, which would have been frowned upon by the general public. But anyway, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video if you do end up enjoying it as well. I've been getting a lot of support on my videos recently, a lot of new subscribers, a lot of likes, not a lot of comments. Keep commenting down below. I love reading your comments and having a little discussion with you guys in the comment section down below. So keep doing that, keep supporting the channel, and I'll keep making videos for you guys that I hope you enjoy. But let's get into what Morgan Sanson will add to this Aston Villa side. Alright, but before we get into the video, I just want to say welcome to Aston Villa, Morgan Sanson. Just a simple welcome. This is the one we've all been waiting for, £14 million from Marseille. This is the big January transfer window signing, probably the only January signing. But we have full belief in this player. We know he's got the qualities to succeed at this club, and I believe he'll even exceed our great expectations because we've seen what he can do in France, and I know that we're going to do great things together. Welcome to Aston Villa, Morgan Sanson. Morgan Sanson is a very consistent performer who, across his performances in France for Montpellier and Marseille, has accumulated 35 goals and 32 assists, which is very impressive considering a lot of his work is in the defensive half. He's in the top 10 players during his time at Marseille. This is for balls won back in the defensive half, 376, and balls won back in the attacking half, 66. Now, with that being said, he has been deployed as more of an attacking role in the past 2 seasons or so. He's not played as a number 10 in a 4-2-3-1 system for Andre Villas-Boas, and he's played as a box-to-box midfielder. Even though he can play as a defensive midfielder as well, he can play in a double pivot, a midfield 3, and a 4-2-3-1 system as the number 10. So if we don't get Ross Barkley on a permanent basis, let's say Thomas Tuchel really likes the way he plays, he brings him back to Stamford Bridge and has a plan for Ross Barkley, then that means we have to give him back. Of course, he's not our player, he's on loan, and Sanson can slide into that spot seamlessly, and I do think he will end up being a starter for us, because if we have to sell someone like Douglas Luiz or something, he's a player like John McGinn who can fit into that double pivot, or fit into a midfield 3 and play as a box-to-box. He can play as a 6, an 8, and a 10, which is very useful to have in our squad, and it might take him a month or two to gel, as we've seen with Bertrand Traore. It took him a month or two to find his feet, and he's flying now, and we didn't know if Bertrand Traore was going to break into our team, and I do think Sanson will end up being a starter for us. To be completely honest, it will probably be in Barkley's place, as he is not our player. He is on loan, and it probably will cost a hefty penny to get him 30 to 35 million pounds from Chelsea. And so if we don't want to spend that kind of money, slot Sanson right in there, and there is no problem. Now let's get into Morgan Sanson's style of play, especially in certain positions. So I'll put a chart on screen right here, which shows in his defensive midfield role, he's made 40 appearances, averaging a match rating of 7.27. In his most played role, the box-to-box number 8 central midfielder, he's made 93 appearances, averaging a match rating of 7.03. And as an attacking midfielder, he's made 33 appearances, averaging a match rating of 7.09. Most of those appearances coming in recent times under Andre Villas-Boas. And he's played sparingly on the left and right as well, averaging about a 7 rating each. Now, what excites me the most about this transfer is the consistency of a player we're getting. He never puts in a subpar performance. He could have games where he doesn't take your breath away, but he can also have games where he takes your breath away. He's a very skillful player, but a very big part of his game is his defensive contribution. He describes himself as a warrior. He's going to cover every single blade of grass for this football club and for this badge, because you notice he's got players that are ripe around him wanting to play, and every minute he gets on that field is a privilege. And one of the favorite things that Sanson said in his interview is that he likes the team spirit because he likes to fight. He likes that everybody in this team has camaraderie, and they get their bodies on the line to cover every single shot, do everything they can to stop this team, and that's something we didn't show last season at times. Until Project Restart, we just looked like we didn't care at times. We didn't want to pass the ball. You're sure we didn't want to defend. Jeez, that was bad last season. But he also gets fouled quite a bit. He gets fouled on average 0.8 times per game. He's a very skillful player. He likes to dribble at players, and he likes to attempt key passes, and he likes to attempt over-the-top passes, and that, a lot like John McGinn, that lowers his pass average completion rate, because they try these key passes, they try these long passes to split defenses, split lines, and sometimes they don't work, which lowers their pass completion rate. So I wouldn't get fooled by a 77% pass completion rate this season. It's normally around the 83-84 mark. He hardly loses the ball, but it does foul quite a bit. He has a modest 25 yellow cards from Marseille. That is, he's never gotten a red card, so it's very good to see that he is a very disciplined player and knows where to draw the line, especially when it comes to fouling. But Dean Smith, Johan Lange, give yourself a round of applause. It's an absolute brilliant piece of business. Such a shrewd signing. We recognized a player that Marseille viewed as expendable. We got the deal done in over a week. Rumors came out about a week ago. In a week, we've got the deal done, announced, and he's ready to play hopefully this weekend. And he adds a completely different dimension to Aston Villa's game. He can cover so many positions and perform so many different roles so well that we have such a perfect player for our game, considering that a lot of teams, they look at our lineup and they see they can never change anything. That's the lineup that they go with every game because our bench simply hasn't been strong enough this season. But now that we've got the likes of Morgan Sanson, we can change formations, we can change dynamics, we can change tactics, we can surprise different teams that think they're just going to get the same lineup, which is very quality, and we outrun teams, we outperform teams, we outclass teams. We can add a different dimension and absolutely destroy teams, take them by surprise, take lower level teams by surprise and beat them by even more than we already do, which is something I'm very much looking forward to. And I think Sanson will eventually break into the Aston Villa team, whether that's a result of injury, maybe Ross Barkley goes back to Chelsea. Like I said, we don't want to cough it up. He can slide into that cam role, and I'm going to discuss what I think Morgan Sanson will do as a cam, because I think that's the position he's going to play for Aston Villa, because I don't think Douglas Luiz or John McGinn are ever going to be dropped as a double pivot unless one of them gets injured. Now, I do think Morgan Sanson will fill the space in between Jack Grealish and Bertrand Traore and lead the double pivot for Aston Villa when it does come into the starting lineup. And what I think he'll do is he'll be a little bit deeper than Ross Barkley, just a little bit, of course. He's a little bit faster than Ross Barkley and got a lot more stamina than Ross Barkley, in my opinion, of course, especially because Ross is coming off the back of an injury, hasn't played in the bit, he's been limited to 60 and 70-minute cameos. But being that little bit deeper, Jack Grealish can play the ball into him, and he can switch the ball to Bertrand Traore. He can find the Watkins feet. He can do so much. He can be almost a deep-lying playmaker of sorts. And he can also drive forward because he's got the quality to dribble at players. He's so confident with the ball at his feet. He loves to make key passes. He can spot runs. He always has his head up. He's always looking for passes. He's got great vision and is a very key player for Marseille. And he was a very key player for Marseille for so many seasons. And I believe he's going to be a key player for Aston Villa. Now, he's also a very good striker of the ball. He likes to shoot from outside the box, which is something that we need from this Aston Villa team. Ross Barkley, I think he tries to play just a little bit too much. If he just let it rip every now and again, like against Leicester, we see that Ross Barkley has a wonder strike in him. Absolute class strike against Leicester, but he just doesn't shoot. He doesn't shoot enough for my liking. If Sanson comes in, he'd be willing to shoot, and he'd be willing to cover every single blade of grass and offer a little bit more defensively than Ross Barkley, in my opinion. He's a little bit faster, and he's definitely more proven defensively. One of the best defensive midfielders in Ligue 1 last season, like I said, and I think it'll be the perfect matchup, perfect relationship for Aston Villa and Morgan Sanson. It can only benefit us. It cannot hurt us. It was £14 million, not a crazy amount of money, and we have a very good squad player at least in our ranks. But in conclusion, that's my summary. I think this is an absolute brilliant signing from Aston Villa. He can cover so many positions and perform so many different roles that I just don't see a situation where the signing goes wrong. Even if he gets injured, he can come back. We have so much competition in midfield that he can come and slot back into this team, and if he performs well, he can keep players out of the team. He's got the quality. He can dribble at players. He can find key passes. He's got great vision, this lad. And he can just do all the roles and tick all the boxes that Aston Villa need. And he has a completely different dimension. Like I said, we can play different formations. We can experiment now. We can try different tactics, all because of one very good signing of Morgan Sanson, such a versatile player. And I think he is the player Dean Smith needed. I'm very excited. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your opinions in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button like I said at the start of the video. If you ended up enjoying the video, also make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time. Peace. Up the Villa.